Hello everyone, Dutchlie here. Welcome to another Sims 4 house building video. Except today we're actually not building a house at all, we're building a nightclub. It's called the Submariners Club. Basically, it's a nightclub with a nautical theme, specifically a submarine theme. You see right now I'm building the tower or the bridge of the submarine off to the right side of the lot here. Basically, I make this submarine with a couple roofs, and then the underground section of the lot is where the actual club is. You'll see in a minute I'm going to put some pools there to make it look a little bit more authentic. But originally I wasn't even going to put the actual hull of the submarine in at all. I was just going to have the tower or the bridge there, and then have it look sort of like it was going for a nautical theme, but wasn't meant to look totally realistic. But I figured out that as I was building that, I was playing around with the roofs a little bit, and I figured out that I could make it actually look sort of like the top of the hull of a submarine, and I liked how it turned out. I actually got lucky the first time I was doing it because I got the height of the tower just right. By originally putting a full wall and then replacing it with a half wall. It turns out that you can't really place the half wall on top of another half wall unless, you can see the little gap between the two that's there now, but if I didn't do it the way that I did originally, then it would have been even more, and I would have had to have done a full wall instead. So I like the way it turned out. I got kind of lucky there. Right now I'm putting in a couple enlarged like decorative boats. That's what they're meant to be. I just use the shift close bracket cheat to, it's not even really a cheat, I don't think. I don't think you need to have any cheats enabled to do it. You just hit the shift close bracket together and you can make just about any object as big as you want. Unfortunately you can't make them any smaller, but most of the time I'm not looking to make them smaller anyway. It's usually I want to make them bigger. There have been a couple times when I want to make them smaller, and I tried to do it, and I was like, oh no, you can't actually make them smaller for some reason. It's kind of weird, but it is the way it is. So yeah, so I'm making this dock here. That's gonna serve as the entrance to the club itself. That's where you first walk into the lot. It sort of just has a general nautical theme there. I originally wanted to have the entrance to the actual club area of the lot through that little connector that I have between the dock and the submarine, which you'll see in a minute if you didn't already see it. But it didn't really work out because of the fact that the submarine is made up of roofs and not of standard walls. So I couldn't figure out a way anyway to connect the two. At least without doing some serious reconstruction, which I didn't want to mess around with. I liked the way that the submarine looked, and I didn't want to change that. It turned out to actually be a good thing because there's not as much room down there as it looks like from above. I had a little bit of trouble trying to make enough room for the dance floor and for the DJ booth and for the bar and all of that. And that's with the bathroom not being in the club itself. It's in the lounge outside, which you'll see in a little bit. Yeah, so the original, well, let me tell you how I first came up with the idea. I was building a party house a few weeks ago on a really big lot. I forget exactly which lot it was, but anyway, it's a really big lot on the water, and I created this basement section right next to the pool, and I put the windows in. You know, a lot of people like to put the windows in next to the pool. It's kind of a cool feature that they actually put into the game in The Sims 4, which is a cool thing. So I was doing that, and I was just gonna have some bedrooms down there, or maybe like a sitting area. But it turned out it ended up turning into a full-on club, and I ended up giving it a nautical theme, and I just kept going and going with it. And I was like, oh, I can just turn this into a submarine, and I did, and it's still sitting there on that lot. Maybe I'll rebuild that video for that house for another video in the future. We'll see. But yeah, that's how I came up with the idea. I really liked it. I ended up liking it more than I liked the original house itself. So I decided that I'm going to make it a whole new video and just build it on a lot of its own. and that's how we came to this video. So I was trying to make the outside of the dock look as realistic as possible and give it as much atmosphere as possible. Yeah, so now we're downstairs. This is directly below the dock. I'm making the entranceway to the submarine section. It is like a Navy submarine, so I wanted it to give it a secure, a legit like military sort of type of look. That's why I have that secure looking door there and the fancy entranceway, which you would see in a club anyway. So I'm just throwing in these windows, which I intended to look like portholes of a ship or a submarine, and I like how they turned out. They definitely give a good vibe, especially later on. I'll be putting in plants right outside those portholes there to make it look like you're down on the ocean floor with like seaweed and stuff like that. Unfortunately, you couldn't put any fish outside. At least I couldn't think of a way to do it. That would have been kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, they give some atmosphere on the inside of the club. I'm putting these objects here, which I think are just decorative in the game. They're meant to look like the cylinders of the engines. And I put those glass windows in there. The bar is actually going to be right in front of those glass windows, so you'll be able to sort of see into the engine room of the submarine as you're ordering a drink, or if you're working at the bar, you're working right in front of the engine room. It's kind of cool. I like the wall patterns I put there too. It makes it look a little bit more industrial, like an actual engine room of a real submarine. I do like how that turned out. That was in the original as well, although I think I used a different object. It was actually a usable object. I forget what it was, but anyway, it didn't look as cool. I think this looks better, especially once I raised up the objects. That way, they're stacked on top of each other. I think it makes it look, I'm not a mechanic or anything, but I think it looks pretty cool, pretty realistic. For whatever it is. But yeah, it's cool how the bar is just situated right in front of that little section there. Yeah, so you can see that the dance floor is a little bit small, especially with the DJ booth taking up as much space as it does. And part of the reason for that is because I wanted to have the nose of the submarine kind of close in, so that way it looks like the actual bow of a submarine. So again, it gives you another element of feeling like you're actually in a naval submarine. So it does take up a little bit more space there. You can see I'm putting in the seaweed right there. But I think in the end it works out. In reality, you're not going to have a ton of Sims on this lot at once anyway, because it's The Sims, and it's not like it would be filled to capacity like a real club would be. Yeah, so I'm building this little, I guess you could call it like a mission command room, which is not actually in the submarine itself. It's right next to the stairs underneath the dock section. I didn't really know what else to do with that space, so yeah, so I just wanted to give it more of a realistic look there. I think it came out kind of cool. I just found lots of random items that I could throw in to make it look like an actual naval base type thing. It would have been cool to have that inside the submarine itself, but anyway, it's outside, so it's like it's a Navy base. I'm throwing in these bathrooms here. I had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how I was going to situate them so that way there's enough space for both a men's and a women's bathroom. But I do eventually figure it out because I'm playing around with it a lot. I actually originally thought that I needed to have 2 squares for bathroom stalls, which you really don't. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe you probably do if you don't have move objects on, but in reality, there's no reason to have them be that big. So that did help a lot. Trying to give the bathroom a sort of industrial, like military look to it. While I also put like those big mirrors on there too, so it's kind of like a mix between being in a club and being, like on a Navy ship or something. But I do like how it turned out. I'm going to actually change the exterior walls only. I changed the paint on them so that way it's a type of stone and wood combination that makes it look like it's an actual functioning structural wall. You'll see that in a minute. And the interior walls, I just leave that sort of nice like painted color. But yeah, so I hope you guys noticed that the audio quality on this video is a little bit higher, or at least I'm expecting it to be higher. I'm not sure what it was with my previous video, but whatever it was, I seemed to figure out a way to make it a lot better. And yeah, so I promised you guys that I would fix that. I think I wrote that in the description of my previous video, and here we are. I think it is fixed. If it is not, then I will definitely make sure it's fixed for the next one. I promise, guys. That audio quality is bothering me a lot. Here I'm adding in some lights that's supposed to represent like the way from the staircase to the actual entrance to the club there. And you know, you probably have like a little line standing out there, but I also wanted to make this lounge area very open, so that way, you know, people could like stand around, since the actual club itself is going to be a little bit cramped. Just adding in some decorations there. I added these windows here. I wasn't sure about it when I was adding them, but I ended up making them a little bit smaller, so that way it looks more realistic. I don't think it's actually in the video, but yeah, it's not. But I make smaller windows there, and it looks more realistic. You can see the finished product on the outside here. That's the lounge area downstairs, the entranceway from the lounge to the submarine itself, the dance floor with the little kegs there, the bar and the engine room behind the bartender, and the mission command room. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I had a lot of fun making this build. I thought it was pretty cool. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, anything you can do. Check out my other video, and I'll be uploading more videos as frequently as I can. I know this one took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I will be getting up videos as often as I can. Alright, thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.